I think that winning this game and being the first one in the Challenger Series is like almost doing 70% of the job.
The result is not that important, I think, because even if we lost, we'd win the others if we kept the confidence and everything else. But if we lose, people might lose some of that, which could hurt us.
We're getting ready for this game. This is the most important game for us right now.
I feel like their team's pretty inconsistent. They will either win early game or really, really lose early game really hard.
We will 3-0 them. Maybe not 3-0, but we're gonna take it.
I think our teamwork is better than theirs.
I'm not scared at all.
Hello everyone and welcome to our special coverage of the European Challenger Series Spring Finals, coming to you live from the LCS studio in Berlin, Germany, as we see the Copenhagen Wolves and Huma taking to the stage for their bout. I'm EpicSkillshot Fortre here with Trevor Quickshot Henry and Mitch Kreppel-Voortpoels for today's title fight between Huma and the Copenhagen Wolves, all for this trophy right here. It's beautiful, but it has, of course, more important implications.
It really does, especially when you look forward to the promotion tournament. But hearing Rudy say, we're going to take 3-0, maybe not 3-0, but we're going to win. I want to see how confident they perform on stage.
I like the contrast between whoever it was and then Wickeds. Like this match, it was World 70% done. We're getting there. So important. I don't know, man. I don't think this match is very important. You know, as long as we don't lose confidence, we'll get into the LCS. Typical Wicked.
Well, in any case, today these two teams are going at it in a best-of-5 set for the Spring Challenger Series Championship and the top seeding at the all-important Summer Promotion Tournament. There we see the side selection. Huma on the blue side for games 1 and 5, if it comes to that, of course. And the team that ends up winning the best-of-5 puts them just one match away from the LCS. Such huge implications.
It really, really is. And it's a new promotion tournament format for the year. It is different from last year. You can see on your screen at the minute, match 1 will be a single elimination. That is the 10th place EU LCS and the loser of today's final. If you drop out in that final, there is no way for you to advance to the LCS.
Yeah, obviously. So this is a seeding match. It matters. And then we go into a double elim bracket kind of where out of the 4 teams remaining, 5 teams in total, want to make it to after the first part, which is single elimination, it goes into a double elimination bracket. It's really hard to explain.
You were right
the
first
picture
time.
Makes a lot more sense. That's why I just should talk less and we should make use of more
in
pictures. Generally.
Okay.
Production, more pictures.
All right. And that's our promotion tournament, by the way. We'll be covering that starting from next week, Thursday.
Yeah.
For now, though, we got to find out who will be the first seed. Let's take a look at the teams and how they got here to the big stage, starting off with Huma. They tied for second with Inspire in the round robin, but then beat them in a very thrilling best-of-5 to make it all the way to the final.
Yeah, and that's also the reason Huma had the side choice on games 1, 3, and 5 for today's final. But that was an upset. I mean, Huma taking down Inspire, they were not expected to win that match. And if you look at the bottom bracket, the Copenhagen Wolves beating Millennium 3-0, that was way more of a surprise. They came in with a substitution, and Millennium were actually the pre-everything favorites to not only win Challenger, but also to make it into LCS.
Yeah, but Millennium's play throughout the Challenger series was dropping week by week by week, and then obviously Copenhagen Wolves made those substitutions. That kind of helped them a little bit, and that was the deciding factor. Also that we're moving to an offline environment, and these teams, they're always comfortable playing at home, so maybe they get some input as well, because the coach can technically be behind them. It's like, yeah, guys, I think it's time for Dragon.
Maybe.
Suddenly, right here, that's not possible anymore on the stage.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. And as we see the action unfold between these two squads looking to go pro, we want to get your input. As always, tweet at LPL Esports and tell us this time around which team do you think is the most prepared to compete in the LCS and why. Tweet your answers at LPL Esports with the hashtag EUCS, and we'll check on them later today. So, talking about experience and preparation, let's focus in on the match at hand and taking a closer look at Huma, who have Werlip, Rudy, Godbro, Holy Phoenix, Jisvikaz, and their coach Kubs. Well, nothing more to say about this lineup than experience, LCS, and even world stage experience for these guys.
Yeah, 4 former LCS players and the 1 guy that actually isn't or hasn't been in the ULCS has went to Worlds. So they've all been plenty experience of playing on stage, playing for competition, the need to win. Hopefully they can bring that experience to the stage, because seeing a lineup like this, you would expect a very macro-oriented, at least foundation of gameplay, but it seems very much so that they're still relying on individuals to carry.
They really are, and it's actually been a trend of Huma throughout the split. On a day, a player will show up, and then the rest of the team will stand behind that player, and they will use that player to spearhead any sort of strategies. In the semi-finals, it was Werlip on Jax. He went back to a champion that he was carrying with last year. It is arguably his most famous champion, and he had a great performance, and the whole team rallied behind him. But they do that for everybody. If Godbro's having a good day, if Holy Phoenix is having a good day, they stick behind that carry, and the rest of the team supports him.
Yeah, and it's normal that this behavior kind of comes out in Challenger Series, because It is very rare that we will have so many even matchups where you then need to rely on the macro to kind of win the game. Like in LCS, once you get to the higher tier of teams, people are really good at going even in lane, but very often in Challenger Series there will be like a mismatch or one guy just fluking or underperforming, and then you can really leverage that lane win to kind of get you the game. But if you rely too much on that strategy, obviously once the game gets closer, that sometimes these games devolve into very ill-advised mid-games.
We'll see what plans they bring to the table here as they are up against the Copenhagen Wolves, with also a wealth of experience in there with Wicked, Ku, Kadral, Pinoy, Sir Nuxalat, and Mosi Ting is their coach. A tough challenger round for them, coming in 4th, but then they completely surprise everyone in that semi-final versus Millennium, especially Millennium, but we think that they overperformed by a large margin.
I think that's fair. I think, Millennium struggled when they made it to the offline environment. They also made substitutions that may have caught Millennium off guard and helped out. The man on your screen, Wicked, had a great performance. I think he was enabled by Ku. Ku coming in to replace Troven, really stepping up. And in my opinion, I feel like the Wolves just had an absolutely phenomenal day. I want to see if they're going to use those individual mechanical performances today to beat Huma, where maybe Huma might be a little bit more prepared.
But obviously they have more time right now to practice with some of these substitutions. You mentioned Ku. They obviously have Kadral right now in the mid lane too. Player I like focusing on because he's a little different. He doesn't play very lane pressure oriented, but from the few times that I've watched him play or even played against him, he pulls quite far back in lane, but then he trades that for utility. So he's not afraid to sacrifice lane gains to go for a roam or to get a map play. And that may work well with some of these more individually carry-oriented players that the Copenhagen Wolves have on their roster. Think of Wicked, who can definitely still snowball if he gets an advantage, or Pinoy. And we sometimes see that difference for the Wolves as well, when they snowball and when they don't.
Yeah, and I've been very critical of Ku because he's a challenger player who was the next coming of fantastic challenger junglers last year, but struggled the moment LAN finals happened. Then he joined Giants, and I was a little uninspired with the Giants' performance so far this year. But then semi-finals happen. So this is a guy who's got very high highs and very low lows. So my eyes will be on him and how he's going to perform, because he was arguably the carry in the semi-finals.
Yeah, definitely, and helped to accrue the huge goal leads that they had in that finals as well. If we take a look at the difference from the regular season, all 5 times the difference with the regular season at 20 minutes, rather, the goal they accrued and the pressure they put down on the map. I mean, if they do it the same way, there's going to be a clean 3-0 here, but I don't think that the same overperformance will happen here today, knowing that the coach is not there the whole game, knowing that the big stage is there.
Yeah, we have to realize, like, these guys, when they get a lead, like above like 2K, like you can guarantee that they're good enough to snowball it out of control, get it to 3K, 4K at 20 minutes, especially once they have some synergy or maybe more confidence with those roster changes. But that's true for most challenger teams. It's when the game goes even, and the goal swings stay between like 1,000, 2,000 for the longest time. That's when we need to see them rely on stuff like rotations and maybe some map play. And I wonder what the level is going to be today. But we have to keep in mind that we can't judge them on an LCS standard either. Because if these players were all LCS rotation level, well, then they should be in a top 6 team already, because we have some serious issues in the LCS in the bottom 4 on those matters too. So we just need to make sure that we have the right expectations going.
And you also know those bottom 4 LCS teams are all going to be watching these matches, because
hopefully
Huma and the Copenhagen Wolves will be advancing to the promo tournament depending on the seeding of today's final. And they are also setting their sights on their opponents, because that's what everybody's playing for, the title of Spring Split Champions, and then to qualify for the League of Legends Championship Series.
Yeah, definitely. And when we think back of our last Challenger final, it went all the way to 5 games. It was very long, but Dragon doesn't have the same importance. So what's going to happen today? I don't know. We might be here for 7-8 hours of fantastic League of Legends. And the stage is set. And as we head inside for Game 1, Huma's Werlib weighs in on his fellow Challenger finalists.
Honestly, I didn't expect Copenhagen Wolves to beat 3-0 to Millennium. Like, I didn't think that Millennium was strong like in the past, but I didn't expect also a 3-0 like that easily. I think Copenhagen Wolves has changed, like, overall. They are playing like a team. Like, they are not doing big plays or they are not trying something hard. They are just playing a standard, doing well and not throwing the game, and they just wait until the enemy team just make a mistake and they get the advantage from there.